In this problem, we're asked to solve an equation for one of its variables. The equation is P equals S over 1 plus N times I. And we're asked to solve this equation for I. Now, the solution to this, the way to do this, is simply to imagine that I is your variable like X, and everything else in the equation are numbers. Treat them like they're numbers. And in this situation, the I, the highest power of I, is the first power, so we solve it just like we would solve a first-degree equation. So let's recall how to solve a first-degree equation. We have 4 easy steps to get I by itself. Step 1, eliminate the fractions. We eliminate the fractions by multiplying both sides of the equation by the LCD. Step 2, eliminate parentheses. We do that by distributing multiplication across the parentheses. Step 3, isolate the X term. Well, in this case it will be the I term, isolated on one side of the equal sign. And step 4, eliminate the coefficient of X, in this case the coefficient of I, by dividing both sides by that coefficient. So we're going to apply these steps to our equation P equals S over 1 plus Ni, where I is our variable like the X. Step 1, look at the problem. What is the LCD? It's the only denominator in the problem. It's 1 plus N times I. We're going to multiply both sides of this equation by the LCD in order to eliminate the denominator, the fractions. And once we do this multiplication, we get a cancellation on the right side, and now we're ready to distribute multiplication in step 2 to eliminate the parentheses. So distributing multiplication by P, we get P plus P times N times I equals the other side, which is just S. Step 3, we get I term alone on one side by, moving the P to the other side. We'll subtract P from both sides. And now step 4, we will divide by the coefficient P times N in order to get the variable I all by itself. So we divide by P times N on both sides, and we get a cancellation on the left, which isolates the I, which is what we're trying to do. I equals S minus P over P times N. And that is it. I don't need to do any more. That answer is perfect. But for some people, they like to bust up the fraction and write it with 2 terms. I equals S over the denominator minus P over the denominator, and then they like to cancel the P and get a final answer of I equals S over P times N minus 1 over N. Now, I don't bother to do that. That's just too much extra work. I just leave it the way I had it. I equals S minus P over P times N. That's good enough.